So what we can offer right now in short term is that we can offer a long-term warranty protections to your product. So
together with our clients, we analyze the possible failure rates over the entire service life of the system. Munich RE offers an appropriate risk transfer for rare but serious deviations from the expected battery performance.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar and thank you for joining. So today's webinar is together with our strategic partner, Munich RE, and the webinar will be about risk mitigation strategies for utility-scale ESS projects. Here we have our agenda. First, Nicholas, our CTO, the CTO from Sinovoltaics, will talk about the procedures at manufacturers for ESS risk management. Then Kolsman will start from Munich RE with the energy storage system and product and performance covered together with Martin. And after that, we'll have a Q&A where you can, so during the webinar, you see on the right side, you have a chat. There you can mention all the questions you have and we will answer them either during the webinar or at the Q&A. So the webinar we think will be around 40 minutes and the recording will be available afterwards and it will be automatically sent to you. So if you have any questions, you can type your message on the right side in the chat box. So first, let me introduce Kolsman Chen. So Kolsman is working for Munich RE. He's in charge of the energy storage risk solutions in the APAC region. And before joining Munich RE, he was leading a team for sustainable infrastructure development. Then we have Martin Helm. He's the risk assessor for Munich RE. So he is responsible for the risk assessment of stationary energy storage systems at Munich RE Green Tech Solutions. Martin studied mechanical and energy engineering and worked at BMW and had different interesting experiences. Then Nicholas Weimar, my colleague and the Chief Technology Officer of Sinovoltaics. So Nicholas is a specialist in PV quality management. Well, I know that he has done many inspections, over 100 PV manufacturers in Asia. And I also know that ESS is one of his new favorite topics. So he will definitely be the suitable person to talk about. Then this is me. So I'm Benoit van der Maas. I'm International BD Director at Sinovoltaics. I've been working with Sinovoltaics for 3 years now. And I'm basically the bridge between the clients and our inspection team in the factory or the factories. Now I'll give the word to Nicholas Weimar, who will talk about the critical pillars of the ESS projects.
Yeah, thank you for this introduction, Benoit, and yeah, also from my side on behalf of Team Sinovoltaics, a very warm welcome to our joint webinar today with our strategic partner Munich RE. Yeah, in this first part, we want to look at risk management and best practices for utility scale ESS projects. Also in line with the Sinovoltaics BESS projects quality assurance plans. So proper risk management looks at the BESS throughout its whole life cycle, from determining the specifications and qualifying the factory up to the site acceptance testing and system performance monitoring. Which you can see here in the graph in the cycle basically, and it consists of 7 critical pillars actually that we look at today. Let's start with the first. In the very beginning, as a project developer, we need to be fully certain basically about the fundamentals of our BESS project. So, for example, what is the purpose of the BESS project? Yeah, for example, is it for power generation, or is it for backup purposes? Or what system size do we require in megawatt hours? Are the technical specifications of our equipment in line with the requirements? Or what are the conditions of my project site? Or what does my project schedule look like? It's a simple, basically, a preliminary assessment, but it's very important basically to determine like what journey your BESS project takes and to put it into proper shape and, and of course then get the right equipment for your purposes and for your site. A crucial point when establishing the BESS specifications also to understand the value chain behind it, and of course whether the components of such a BESS project are properly qualified to applicable standards, which you can hear examples of in that value chain. Once you have basically established the specifications of your project, and probably in due course potential suppliers have been shortlisted, then one next step is basically to carefully craft supply contracts, and this often also actually happens concurrently to factory audits. So that the range of important points to look at when designing your BESS supply contracts, including compliance to respective standards that we just had a look at, description of the components with all the critical technical parameters, and also warranty terms. There can be fine print to look closely at, and our partners from Munich RE will explain also more about this later on. To give an example of battery regulated points to contractualize, this involves the battery cell warranty. So each battery cell has a number of cycles guaranteed. So you need to qualify or clarify the specific conditions of this, so charge rate, discharge rate, cell or environment temperature, so which you can see here in that cell cycle curve on the slide. The next important pillar are the factory audits that will help you to establish how your BESS and components are being made. So whether the quality management at the supplier is sound, and whether they actually have the equipment in place to perform necessary tests. All this is critical to avoid unpleasant surprises later on, far into the project when it's too late to mitigate them. Generally, when there is a selection of multiple potential suppliers, a qualification factory audit of each of the potential suppliers helps a lot basically to benchmark these accordingly, and even before further work on contracting is being done. After all, a factory audit we would recommend should be at the very latest be performed in the form of a pre-production factory audit prior to production beginning. Now that your BESS is being produced and quality testing should be performed on the BESS and its components as a next step to ascertain basically the workmanship and performance of the equipment. This graph outlines the structure of a best practice FAT setup for your BESS to ensure no performance deviations. Once the BESS components are ready to be produced, so it is prudent to witness and have proper records of the FAT program each of them are subjected to, especially also when later on you want to cross-reference these with measurement data from the site acceptance test, as well as referencing these, of course, to performance data in the future from, for example, from monitoring. So what does a proper FAT comprises? Well, it includes all the components of a battery energy storage system, including the PCS, the BMS, the module and rack, and the housing or the container, as we call it, as well as the integrated battery energy storage system as a whole. In addition, there's also emergency procedures such as shutdown, restarting, and alarm sequences, as well as EMS integration testing involving cutoff limits, charge and discharge commands, and so on, that should be performed. Now that you have performed all these tests and witnessed them and recorded all the testing data, and these tests have basically passed, your BSS and the components have been properly packed and shipped to the project site. So then, as a final, or one of the latest later sequences includes to perform site acceptance testing, which should be performed again to ensure that the technical and mechanical integrity of the components and the integrated BESS has not suffered from any damages in the meantime after shipping. So to basically have a double check that it works properly in the real case environment where it is now placed. A proper SAT consists of a fairly extensive scope of work that should be performed by a qualified entity. The SAT performance and its results need to be properly recorded and cross-referenced with FAT results obtained before. So again, you have basically data, as a best practice, you have data from the FAT testing before, and now you can basically cross-reference them again with the site acceptance test data on site. Examples, for example, as you see here on the top, the operation acceptance tests alone comprise more than 15 test items, such as mechanical and functionality checks, fire suppression system checks, component communication tests, and electrical checks. Then, last but not least, the last pillar involves the proper operations and maintenance of your BESS. So O&M work is extensive and touches upon many aspects, including assessing the battery energy storage system parameters, such as the total energy charge and discharge, the self-consumption of the battery energy storage system, daily and weekly state of charge, and so on. So parameters of the single components should also be involved in this O&M, as well as site performance assessments, including site energy losses and efficiency. To conclude this chapter, we have listed here some of the critical parameters to monitor and record during the operation of your battery energy storage system. So it is important basically to have proper records of these all the time, which again, as mentioned before, helps you to cross-reference any deviations from measurement data before. So it's just a short list of the main parameters. Now, that's from my side. I'd like to now hand over to Kolsman and Martin from Munich RE. Kolsman, Martin, please go ahead.
Thank you, Nicholas, for your great presentation. And as Nicholas has said, Sinovoltaics is our strategic partner, and throughout the past years, we have created such a successful business for the PV market already. And I really look forward for us to just go explore more on the battery energy storage market to a further extent. So before I start talking about the insurance stuff and then how we do the technical analysis, I would like to introduce ourselves and our company a little bit, so everyone would know that what Munich RE is actually doing at the moment. So Martin and I are in charge of the business and the risk assessment for the energy storage part in Asia. So right now our responsibility is quite broad. Actually, we have cases in China, Australia, America. Even right now, we have several cases in Germany as well. But what is Munich RE or reinsurance companies doing? So I am quite confident to say that a lot of people do not know what we're doing. So we have two major business models. The first business model is that we are insurance company for insurance companies. So there's some risks that major insurance companies do not want, or like they would like to transfer some risk to another company, then they will just work with the reinsurance companies. And the second case is that like for most of the time, we act as a pioneer to the market, or we act as a pioneer to something that is more risky and more unknown. So like battery is a very good example here. So when you talk to investment banks, if you talk to other insurance companies, if you ask them for, hey, I would like to have a 15 years or 20 years of insurance to our battery systems, most of the time they will get back to you and be like, I don't really know about the risk, and then like if I going to insure you, it's going to be extremely difficult, or going to have a long process to work with you. So Munich RE Green Tech Solutions, which is our team right now, we have over 10 years experiences in the field of renewable energy. And what exactly we have done is summarized in this page. So just up to now, we have like more than 3 billion exposure in support of like 40 billion capital in green technologies, and we're talking about American dollars. So like we are amongst one of the top reinsurers or insurers in the world for this green technologies that we're doing. And at the moment, we have insured over 700 projects and manufacturers in 88 countries for PV, and most of them we worked with Sinovoltaics. So if you ask me like what are the 88 countries that we're insured, I am afraid I can't tell you right now. But like if you're interested, we can send you a list afterwards. So so we are quite successful right now in PV, and we would like to transfer our success to the energy storage business. So right now we are first in the world to offer a super long-term warranty insurance to energy storage market. So we offer 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years warranty insurance solutions to the market at the moment. And how we're going to do it is that like we have a team of experts in the team. So Martin has been working in the industry for quite a long time, and then we have other risk assessors in the team in order to support us to underwrite, or in order to write these policies to the market. And of course, we are not very, we can't say that like we're satisfied with ourselves and satisfied with all the experts or expertise that we have right now. So this is why we partner with some of the world-class companies such as Sinovoltaics, VDE, and Kiwa, in order for us to have a better gauge, a better understanding on what the risks that we're facing and how we're going to tackle and how we're going to give out a more reasonable price tag to the insurance that we're offering to the market. So at the moment, we offer in two major sectors. So it's something what we call established green technologies and emerging green technologies. So for the established green technologies, so we categorize them as like solar, wind, and energy storage. So like the market that is already established here and like growing every year. And this is like our what we call our core business at the moment. And then emerging technologies such as like e-mobility, circular economy, and hydrogen are also of our interest as well. So like you may ask like, hey, e-mobility has been here for a long time, so a lot of people have a Tesla car, but like it's seen as a more emerging technologies to the insurance market because of the risk. So if you are interested, like just contact us later so we can give you a more in-depth understanding on like what we offer to the e-mobility market. So today we're focused on the energy storage part. So people may ask like, so if we buy this insurance, in what country that we can apply it to, or like what kind of area that we're interested in at the moment. So I can say right now that our interest is quite global. So if you buy our insurance right now, you can apply it globally. So if you buy it from, if you manufacture in China and then you buy a policy, and you have projects from Mumbai, you have projects from New York, just feel free to like just contact us, and then we can write you a certificate saying that your company is insured by Munich RE. And there's some highlighted offices here, like Beijing, Hong Kong, Mumbai, Shanghai. These are the offices where we are most active in. And I have to put extra stress on the Mumbai office because my colleague Vishal from Munich RE is also attending this call. So like and Mumbai is also one of the markets that we are most prominent in. So we have done such a good business of PV and energy storage there, and we expect it to grow. But anything in Asia, outside Asia, we're very interested in. So if you have any particular interest, just feel free to let us know. Okay, so like after talking about like the global interest of us, and these are the major challenges that we see in the market at the moment from the system provider side and the system owner side. So the system providers, like we generally categorize them as the system integrators or the manufacturers. So like their challenges or risks are mostly financial and marketing purpose. So like a lot of them, they offer warranty insurance or they offer warranty to the system owner by themselves. So as every year, like they're accumulating their risks. So like they are bearing a lot of risks by themselves. And then, in case like during the course of their warranty provisions, say for example, in year 10, there is like 50 million of claims, and then they will have to pay it back out of their own pocket. And this kind of financial predictability or this kind of problems can lead to potential problems of like insolvencies or some damages to their financial performance. So these are the challenges that they have. And some of the system integrators or system providers coming to Munich RE and ask, hey, so like right now I'm a small companies or medium companies in China or medium companies in Japan. So I would like to sell to Europe. But then like so if you have this kind of mindset, like you have to work with like international insurance companies or international financial companies. So with Munich RE's backup, we can package the product together, and then we can you can tell the people from Europe or tell the people from America that yes, like you are the partner of Munich RE, and then you can use our insurance to get a better financial terms of bankability, which I'm going to talk about on the right-hand side. So the system owners, the people who invest in the project, or the people who give a loan to the project, and what they mostly care about is how much money that they're going to get from the investment, or how predictable that they're going to have the investment return. So there's one top thing that they worry the most about is the insolvency of the system providers. So as I said, like Green Tech Solutions, Munich RE, we have been in the market for over 10 years. And frankly speaking, we have seen a lot of companies going insolvent or bankrupt during the course of 10 years. And unfortunately, some of them are our insured partners. And if system owners getting an insurance or getting a warranty from these system providers, and these system providers go insolvent on year 3 or year 4 of their project, in the future claims, then like the system owners have to take their money out from their own pocket in order to keep the project running and keep their profit up. So like this is the thing that like they worry the most. And of course, like the other things would be bankability and financial terms. So like these system providers that we're talking about, like mostly, like they do not have a very good international reputation, so they do not have a very good rating from financial institutes, because like their balance sheet is a bit weaker, and then like they may be quite new to the market, and they do not have a chance to show themselves to the market at the moment. So what we can do right now is that Munich RE, through our technical expertise, we believe in your technical capability. So if we and Sinovoltaics say that or think that like your technicality or your product is worth going or worth insuring, then we will still insure your product, like no matter how big or small your company is. So you can like just go to these banks or go to these investors and say, you have Munich RE products, you have Munich RE backing up your product with an insolvency protection, so that like you don't have to be worried about like the financial situations. So what we can offer right now in short term is that we can offer a long-term warranty protections to your product. So 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we back you up, we back your product up. So we can optimize your balance sheet so you don't have to pay all the insurance claims or warranty claims by yourself. The insurance company is going to take care of most part of your insurance claims. And most importantly for smaller and medium scale companies is that we have an insolvency proof protection. So what it means is that like in case your company go insolvent or bankrupt or one of your suppliers go insolvent, Munich RE will step in and work with your system owners and find something like equal or better grades in order to keep the project running and keep the project smooth financially. So what we want to do is that like we would like to work with integrators and potentially system owners to accelerate the energy storage business and make the growth more significant in the coming years. So how exactly we're going to do it is that the integrators, you may have different system components. So rack BMS, fan, battery module, power cable, etc. So you have like different incoming warranties from these suppliers. So what Munich RE is trying to do with you is that we would extend all of these components to year 10, year 15, or year 20, really depending on like what the market is looking for and what you need to the market. So, and how we're going to do it or how we're going to assess the risk, I'm going to pass the time to Martin.
Okay, thank you very much, Cosman. So, do you really know your operational or warranty risk? Energy storage systems are really large investments, and the annual production value often adds up to many times of the balance sheet of the system integrators. In addition, profitability depends on the long-term performance and functionality of each individual component. Due to their complexity, these numerous high-tech components are prone to failures and malfunctions with increasing system age. Thereby, severity and frequency of occurrence vary considerably. The box diagram on the right shows how to choose the right measures. In the frequency of occurrence of part failures is rare and the severity is low, you end up in box number 4, accept the risk. In that case, the cheapest action is simply to accept this risk. Repair it, smile, done. Some residual risks will always remain on your side. But in the event of a real serious failure affecting thousands of similar parts, excessive repair work can jeopardize your balance sheet or ruin your long-term investment. In that case, it's good to have a strong insurance partner at your side who knows how to deal with the component reliability risk. So, together with our clients, we analyze the possible failure rates over the entire service life of the system. After COD, most systems suffer from some infant mortality failures, while wear and tear prevails at the end of life. Statistically, failures occur randomly, evenly distributed over the entire lifetime. Altogether, the observed cumulative failure rate often shapes as the characteristic bathtub curves and depends on many factors. To assess this risk, we rely on the experience of manufacturers, our own databases and calculations methods, as well as field tests or third-party analyses. In most cases, it is sufficient to limit the insurance cover to the main components, which are mentioned on the left bottom of the slide: the battery module, slave and master BMS, inverter medium voltage power system, the HVAC and the chiller, so that's the thermal management system of the asset, and the EMS and SCADA. That account for more than 80% of the investment. Based on this data, a determination of the component's specific mean time to repair or failure for the respective application is possible. Taking into account external dependencies and statistical randomness, the frequency distribution of the estimated warranty costs can be calculated as shown in the red bar chart on the right. In this way, we can offer an individual insurance solution for the economically sensible risk transfer of rare extreme loss events. Based on this, but What about the performance? The battery long-term performance or cell capacity, which decreases over time. Here we have the same approach, but the different procedure. The risk here, as already mentioned, is the lack of long-term experience with the various use cases. The figure on the right shows the capacity degradation of the number of battery cell cycles for the three main cell chemistries, lithium iron phosphate, the LFP, nickel manganese cobalt, NMC, and the nickel cobalt aluminium NCA under different boundary conditions. In particularly, C-rate DoD rest SOC, so that's this state of charge, temperatures and cutoff voltages during discharging and charging have a significant impact on the end-of-life equivalent full cycle number, which is a crucial and value for the achievable asset revenue. So to mitigate this risk, we offer application-dependent modeling of battery degradation over the entire warranty period, taking into account the proportion of calendric and cyclic aging. We determine the fluctuation corridor and the distribution probability of the remaining battery capacity at the end of the warranty period, as shown in the bar chart to the right. Again, Munich RE offers an appropriate risk transfer for rare but serious deviations from the expected battery performance. So both reliability and the durability are technical key factors for successful long-term investments in energy storage systems. For the entire value chain, the terms and conditions are set out in the warranty wording, which play a major role in the event of a major failure. We therefore ask you to check, especially in the case of the extended manufacturer warranties, whether the financial strength of the warranty holder is sufficient to fulfill the contract unconditionally. And with these words, I pass over again to Cosman.
Okay, thank you, Martin. It seems like I have quite plenty of time to talk. So as what Martin has said earlier, so like our major interest right now would be on system providers and system owners. So like the system providers are the people who like just integrate the systems, or like they sell the system to the potential owners of and the market. So like they were asked to buy insurance, they were asked to provide a very long-term warranty, such as like 10 years, 15 years, in order to fulfill like their in order to fulfill like their financial planning. So like these system owners can potentially be the beneficiary of our policy if there is if the system provider is insolvent. So what does it mean is that like I'm going to explain it on this page. So there are like mainly two covers that like Munich RE is offering to the market at the moment. So the corporate cover and the project cover. So the corporate cover is mainly targeting to those system integrators. So whatever you produce, we are going to back you up. Of course, like under satisfactory audit by Martin and Sinovoltaics, and then they're not very easy to please, I'm afraid. So if we're happy to back you up, then all your production is going to be insured by Munich RE. But if you only have the corporate cover, so because you are the integrators are the people who directly buy from Munich RE, so like they if they go insolvent or if they go bankrupt, then Munich RE do not have any more insurance liability or insurance responsibility for the policy. So this is why we introduced to the market the project cover, which a lot of people maybe will be more interested in. So a project cover is something that like we design for different projects. So say for example, if an integrator have a 200 megawatt project that they need an insurance for, and then they can talk to Munich RE, or they can talk to Munich RE, and then we can tailor the project tailor an insurance solution for you with different limits, different insurance package in order to fit what the project is asking for. And for the project cover, most importantly, is that an insolvency protection will be included. So as I explained earlier, and in insolvency protection, it's basically if the integrator go insolvent or go bankrupt, then Munich Re will step in and work with the system owners and identify products in the market that can be used to for maintenance or replacement in order to keep the project running until our policy has finished. So if you sign up for 15 years and your integrators unfortunately go bankrupt on year 10, you have Munich Re to work with you for the remaining 5 years in order to cater for the claims and in order to cater for the whole in order to honor for the whole insurance. And a lot of people here are thinking right now, so how much is 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years solutions? My answers would be that it's very flexible, because as I mentioned earlier, so like for different projects or for different manufacturers, we have different needs. So maybe for like really big companies, like what they're thinking about is that like, oh, I've been accumulating a lot of risk. There are a lot of like risk in my book. So like I may worry that like in 5 years, like there are going to be large claims and it's going to impact my financial performance and my shareholders not going to be happy. So I have to have a very holistic solution with Munich Re. So of course at that time, like our insurance is going to be a bit more expensive. But for some other cases, if you want to see or if you want to test whether the market is interested in insurance or how effective the insurance is for your product, so we also have something what we call marketing solutions. So where we charge you less for the premium, but then you have to bear most of the risk by yourself. And the way that we can do it to offer different price tag or different premium tag to different policies is by playing around these factors or these insurance structures, which are deductible, co-payment, and limit. So deductible is basically something that like something that's borne by yourself. So as say for example, for a 10-year policy, you have like 5% for deductible. So insurance company will only start paying out after the 5% cost has been met. And after you have reached the deductible, we have a co-payment concept. So a co-payment is something that like we share the risk together. So Munich Re and our insurance partner, we will take up most of the risk. But then in order to fulfill in order to give out a more attractive premium price, so we like our insurance partner, which is the integrators, to have some skin in the game as well. So like this is why we have this co-payment concept. So say for example, if we have 10% of co-payment, so anything after deductible, 10% will be borne by the company itself, and then 90% will be borne by Munich Re and our insurance partners. So a lot of people are thinking, like this doesn't sound like something that we're very used to. But this structure or this insurance structure that we're introducing to the market will significantly reduce the risk and like significantly improve your company reputation if you go outside your homeland. So this is like a payout scenario that like created by us. So it's basically saying that after year 8, say for example, sometimes it may kick in year 2, year 3. So who knows? Because in case there was a serial loss, the claim is going to be quite high. So and in this scenario right now, we're simulating that after year 8, we'll start to pay out, and then at year 10, it will reach our policy limit. So which means that like the policy has been fully consumed or has been fully enjoyed by the integrators, and the integrators is going to share or is going to withhold 10% of the co-payment, where like our insurance company is going to withhold like the remaining 90%. And this is going to be the last page of our presentation, and how the process, how do we get to offering you policy. So we have our initial meeting, and NDA is very important for both sides because, you know, energy storage market, a lot of companies, like you have like different technologies, and like we have our IP as well from as an insurance company. So like we sign an NDA, do some like technical exchange on like what kind of technologies that we're looking at, and what kind of information the insurance company needs. And then after filling that up, we have what we call the project underwriting agreement. So normally before a project underwriting agreement, we'll give you a rough estimation on how much the premium or how much the structure is going to be, so that you have a better understanding of what you're buying. But then once you have signed the project underwriting agreement, we're going to work fully on creating an actual policy that suits your needs, and it includes like having more technical information exchange, and having a factory visit either by ourselves or with our factory audit partners, Sinovoltaics. So we're going to audit the factories, and then after we think, this is a really good technology and it's something that like we can do or we can insure, then we will offer you what we call a binding offer. So like this is something that like it's a final offer that we offer to you, and then you will be, and then after the binding offer, we'll do policy signing. And a lot of people think that like after the policy signing, an insurance company would just like disappear. But the Munich RE is a bit different on this perspective. So we are offering a lot of like after sales support in terms of like we do a lot of co-marketing activities. So like last year, no, actually this year, we had a really big booth at Intersolar where we do signing ceremony with our partners, where like it helps them to like just gain international reputations. And then we do a lot of like after sales training as well, because you know a lot of insurance companies, they don't want to see claims, but like Munich RE, because like our goal is to grow the market with our insurance partners. So we want you to do claims. We want you to stay alive in the industry. So after you sign the policy with us, we'll have like training for your salespersons or training for your maintenance team on when you're going to claim for insurance and how you're going to claim for insurance, and everything is going to be streamlined. So like Munich RE is going to be here to support you at any time that you need. So like thank you very much for your attention. It's like may I stress again what we Munich RE provide right now. We would like to work with you for this warranty insurance for 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, depending on what you need. So if you are interested, please feel free to let us know. We are also very open to work with other insurance companies as well, because like right now, like we do not have a lot of competitions in the market. So I really hope to like just build this market with insurance partners, insurance companies, or even reinsurance companies. You're welcome to like just reach out to us and have a discussion. I'll give back the time. I'll give the time back to Benoit and Nicholas.
Yes, thank you, Cosman, for your presentation. So we're now going to the Q&A session. So if anybody has some questions, you can type them in the chat box. We already have some question here. Maybe Nicholas, you can choose the question to answer.
Okay, I see here. Oh, it's how to. Yeah. I see this question. So, are there any details on individual SAT tests, like a detailed description? To answer this, yes, of course there are. We can of course not cover this in the scope of this brief webinar. I mean, to phrase like this it's still quite. So we have our own proprietary basically scope of work basically, or like a plan, procedures to perform this. So what you have basically seen the webinars actually here on the presentation as part actually of our overall, best practice planning basically for BESS projects. So it starts with the specifications and ends actually with the operation maintenance, and it includes also SAT tests. In our case, it includes more than 60 items for SAT tests alone. And then it goes very much into details like how these tests are being performed and which parameters to use and cross reference testing setup. So I cannot cover it, because it would just, not suffice in terms of time. But glad to address this maybe by email or so. We can discuss this. We actually also support project developers in crafting these kind of QRPs, as you may call it, or best practice plans, basically to walk them safely from the alpha to the omega of a BESS project. So it's certainly possible.
Okay, so we have a question here from Sylvia. Hello. Hi, Sylvia. Are there any limitations in terms of technologies for Munich Re's warranty cover, except, for example, aside from LFP NMC batteries, can this warranty cover also work with, for example, redox flow batteries? I have to say, thank you, Sylvia, for your question. Redox flow batteries, is right now like our most, I would say, like, we work with mostly redox flow companies at the moment, such as ESS Inc., our first ever partner, so like they're a redox flow company. And then right now we are working with a lot of like LFP companies as well. And I would say like our expertise is quite, our risk appetite for battery business is quite wide. And right now we are working with something like a semi-solid, Martin, correct me if I'm wrong, like semi-solid state batteries as well. So like we're quite flexible in terms of like battery types. But then like maybe Martin, you can talk about like what kind of risk that we're facing for different battery types, especially for redox flow. Why are we interested in redox flow?
So redox flow is another application, more or less, and used more or less for the long-term service of energy supply. So you have the 2 or 4 hour systems that's mainly covered by the lithium-ion technology. And if you go for a long duration storage, it's, let's say, 6, 8, 10, up to 1 day. So there is a significant advance in the technology of redox flow. So we have all chemicals, more or less, we are interested. For sure, the vanadium redox couple is the most prominent, but we also do in zinc bromide and so on. For sure, we prefer the standard chemicals for the batteries because we have the procedures, the calculations and simulations already set up that we can really enter fast and continue in the risk insurance creation process. But we are not limited to that, as Cosman already said. We are doing the solid states and some Frankie stuffs as well. Yeah. So if you are in a stage, let's say, should be in the stage when you try to cover up or to set up your production or go to mass production, then it's the right to contact us to develop an insurance solution for a new product.
Yeah, and I think like we like new technologies as well. So like we won't be too bored like doing the same things over and over again. So like please feel free to like reach out to us and challenge us. And we have a question from Pankaj, or like it's more like a comment actually. Several fire cases reported in battery energy storage systems across the globe. Would be great if any case basis. Oh, so I can answer it live right now. Cost analysis and remedies discussed as well. So unfortunately, right now we only interested in warranty insurance on our side, Greentech Solutions. We focus on like product and performance warranties, but fire is something that like we are always interested in as an insurance companies as well. Like so, we have like other teams like that deal with like more traditional business that can give you a bit more discussion points. And aside from that, like the several fire cases reported globally, as an insurance companies, we're quite happy to see like it's a very sad event, but then it means that energy storage system, there are good energy storage systems, there are bad energy storage systems, and there are good management and bad management that would result in huge loss in the market. And we do not, as an insurance company, we would like to help these kind of companies to stay alive, and even when a big event happens one day in their operations.
Okay, thank you, Cosman. So I think we've answered all the questions now. If anybody has any other questions, you can contact us. Either you can contact Munich RE, Martin, or Cosman, or you can contact Sinovoltaics, me, or Nicholas. Well, thank you everybody for joining this webinar, and we hope to see you soon again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Visit sinovoltaics.com to learn more.